Hi guys, good evening. I have not tested my mic today, so please let me know, am I audible? Am I audible and visible? Good evening. Please give me a thumbs up so that I know I'm audible. Okay, I am. Okay, hi, good evening everyone. A very happy Saturday to you all. And yes, welcome to day 3 of HTML and CSS Bootcamp, where we conclude the final bootcamp and where we do some practical stuff in designing so that we know what we have done so far. And let me know if you all tried the static web page that I gave you. It was basically a landing page. Did you all try creating it? Good evening. Okay, you tried. Yes, you will get certificate. You did try. So is there any specific point where you faced some issues or challenges? I'm reading your comments, so tell me if you faced any doubt. The background image is not working. You have to put the URL. Let me share my screen. And also let me know when the screen is shared, if it is visible. Okay, I've shared the screen. Let me know if it is visible. I'll explain div. Okay. The screen is visible. Great, Riddhi has completed all the tasks. Great work. I wish I could see it, but that's fine. I'll explain div, Satya. Good evening. Okay, so I'm giving you guys two options. First, we are left with something like pseudo classes, responsiveness, and transition and transform. After these four properties, you have two options. Either you can ask me doubts, or I do not explain flex separately, but I start creating a landing page. In that specific page, while we create it, I'll explain flex. What do you say? You have two options: explaining Flexbox separately, or explaining it simultaneously while creating a landing page live here. Just let me know, what do you guys prefer while creating a page? Great, that was that's, I think I also thought the same. Simultaneously, yes. Okay. Yes, keyframe also we'll explain. Okay, done. Okay, while creating, so we're going to create a landing page. Great. So yesterday I gave you a landing page. Today I think we can create this one. Let me show it you on screen. How about this? How about we create this? I want you to understand the structure part more. The elements you can add on your own, right? Also, I'm going to tell you some websites like for searching icons online, and how to make the website responsive here only. So I think we can start. We're good to go, right? Please give me a thumbs up. We're starting. Are you all ready? So yesterday, first of all, let's do pseudo classes today, right? Let me also open the notes here. Great. Okay, ready. Let's get started. So, where were we yesterday? So, this is in the curriculum that we have to do a very simple introduction page. But if you see, I almost gave you something similar on the very first day. Writing a poem wherein you added an image, you added a poem, you added the title. Now, I want you to do that work again. This time, that should be very creative. For example, you can add image, you can give it a customized height and width, margin and padding. You can make the text look very appealing, you can make the header look very appealing, you can add underlines, and I think you can also use different borders. So you can already do this, I presume. And after I tell you the pseudo classes today, some of the pseudo classes, so I think you will be able to do more of it. So I think except like instead of this, I think we can make a landing page like this, which is very similar. So yes, okay. Before this, we will start with pseudo classes first. We were layout and Flexbox we'll do while creating this page only, and media queries. Yes, this is where we want to start today. We will start with, let's start with this pseudo classes. So what is a pseudo class and pseudo element? This is a very important question from interview perspective. Let's see what a pseudo class is first of all. Here, okay, so a pseudo class is a class, I hope my notes are visible. Yes, they are. Okay. A pseudo class is used to define a specific state of an element. Now, if you remember, on the very first day I explained that CSS is used to give styling, whereas JavaScript is used to make the page dynamic. Like on the click of a function, you have to perform a task, or while if you want the person to be redirected to a new page while clicking on a button or anything like that, we use JavaScript. But CSS also provides you some dynamic features like animation, and one of the features is pseudo classes, which defines a special state of an element, for example button. Now there is a difference between two things that you can do on a button. You can either click the button, or you can either hover over the button. When you hover over the button, that is a state, but when you click is some action is being happened, right? On hover, no action is being happened. So on hover, that is a state of an element, that is a button. So pseudo classes are nothing but they are used to define a special state of an element. Clear? Let me explain you very easy sa hover pseudo class, how we apply it. So let's remove this. Okay, and I think I'll comment out everything for now. This also, let's comment this out. And let's remove this also. I think we've removed everything now. This also. Am I doing it outside of the body tag? Every day, why does this change? Okay, let's do something. For now, why has it moved outside of the body tag? Yesterday also this happened. Let's take everything inside the body tag. Okay. And okay, why has the code messed up? You guys would want this file, right? Let's create another file. Let's skip this file for now, and let's create index1.html. Or okay, let's create date 3, because we have to create the page ultimately. So let's keep the code separated, and from this file I will remove this I'll use in my new file. Okay, so we have a blank and better canvas now. So I was going to explain you pseudo classes, right? So what I did just is, now in day 3 we are using the new CSS. Okay. Yes, we are creating a web page, landing page. I have removed comments. We are working on a new file now. Okay, just let me adjust the light a little. It's very flashy. Just a second. Yes, now it's fine. Okay. First of all, let's create an element, a simple element, that is button. And to that button, I want to say, I want to right click, and in that button we are going to give a new class, that is maybe button 1. Okay, btn is the class, and I'll comment everything that we did yesterday. Did you guys practice the leftover properties that I did not do for the background image? Okay, yes, I'll zoom in. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I can focus on one thing at a time, but I'm reading your comments now. Okay, yes, so now we gave a class dot button 1. So I'll say dot button 1. I'll give my button some height and width. So let's keep the height to let's say 50 pixel, and let's keep the width to again 50 pixel, and let's keep the background color to maybe blue. Okay, and when I go to my this html file, I'll do live server. Okay, the screen is visible here. This is my button. Okay, I'll zoom in. This is my button. Now pseudo classes are used in pseudo elements, wherein we want to perform a function when the element in some specific state. So now I want that when somebody hovers over this button, I want the background color to be changed to yellow. You've seen in so many websites. So how do you do it? You just call it by the selector, which is .btn1, or you can directly call it using the tag button. But what is the disadvantage in that? Because it will consider all the buttons that you have used in that specific code file, in the HTML file. It will target all the button elements, and that would ultimately change the features and attributes of all the buttons existing in that code file, right? But I want to see only I want to use only btn1. So .btn1, and you do this thing which is called on hover, the background color. Okay, something is not right with my keyboard today. Background color, we want the background color to be yellow when somebody hovers over it, right? Let's go to the page. So when I hover on it, the background color changes to yellow. This is very simple. You can practice all the even the other elements also. I'll explain 2 3 here. I didn't understand your question. Is the color changed using color? Color is changed using background color, and if you use simple color, that changes the text color. Good evening. And then let's see what all pseudo classes we have. Then there is this focus. This is also very simple. If I say on focus of the button, if I say dot pn1, and you just have to use this simply, just like hover, you say on btn1 on focus, you want the border, you want the button to get a border, say 4 pixels solid crimson maybe. So when I focus on this button, the border is changing to crimson. Maybe we are not able to see it for now because of the black border that it's getting by default. So maybe we can do this to text decoration. If it has any, we'll move the text decoration to none, and then you can see it gets a 4 pixel crimson colored border. Okay, mouse problems. Mm-hmm. Just a second. Oh, yes, it's fine now. No, it's not. Just a second, okay? I'll reconnect. Till then, you guys can create a simple input box, and to that give a yellow border on hover, okay? I'll reconnect the mouse. Maybe we will drop the idea of using a mouse for now. Just a second, okay? Okay, I'll use the keyboard only. Okay, I'm sorry guys. Am I visible now? Am I visible? Okay, thank you. Thank you for the patience also. Where were we? We were using pseudo classes, right? Let me open notes quickly. Okay, so focus I explained. You can also use it in input boxes just like this. I'll help you implement it. So just create a simple input box. Damn, these wires. Okay, just create a simple input box, and in that input box we will write enter here, okay? And if we go to the page, this is the input box. Now to the input box, let me give an ID. My ID is input, okay? Now here, okay, here we are using button. It should be button 1, not button. The class name was button 1, and the input box class is dot, what was the class? Input. I think, yes, input is the class. So to input we will say, to input we will say on focus the border should be 2 pixels solid yellow. And if I go to this input box, I click on it. Oh, something is off with the mouse again. I'll remove the mouse for now. We will work with cursors only. Who faces bugs in mouse though? Okay, so in the input we are saying focus, and on focus the border should be 2 pixels solid yellow. And if we go to the page, we focus on the button, it should be yellow ideally. Are we doing something wrong? Dot input focus. Okay, it's okay guys, it's not a class, it's an ID. I provided a ID, I provided an ID, so hash input, and then when I focus on this, it should, okay. Am I doing something wrong? Please let me know if I'm missing out on something. Where is the semicolon? No, 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 that should not be the problem, I guess. That shouldn't be the problem. Have we linked the, we have? No, 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 that's not the problem. Let's give it, let's give it class input one if it isn't a keyword. Okay, let's try naming it input one, and let's try calling it input one from here, and then focus. No, no, refreshing page would also not change anything. Let me see if we have linked it correctly. We have linked style.css, fine. Let's create a div and see if it's taking up the CSS, okay? And we will say I am div, and we will go to the style.css. We will say dot div1. Let's say height. We will copy the classes that we used yesterday. This is fine. We will copy this and we will paste this here. And yeah, it is picking up the classes. It's just not picking up the focus thing. We are calling it right input. On input focus, the border color should be red. It should work ideally. No, that should not be the problem. Let's do one more thing. Let's try to debug it. This is nice. Can you see the DevTools on the screen? एक second. Just 1 second. एक तो मेरा mouse नहीं चल रहा. I have to use the laptop cursor only. Okay. Now, let me reduce its size. Let's go to elements. Let's use this. And if I am going to the input box, oh, it has some syntax error going on. Let's see. एक second. In the input box, let's create a simple input box and not write any text for now, and simply give it as a class which is input1, which is our previous class that we used, input1, and then see if this works. And now to input1, it should ideally have on focus border yellow, right? So when I focus on it, the border should be yellow. Did you guys figure out what the problem is? Or okay, I want you guys to try it in your systems and let me know if it works. Okay, I'm here only. Quick. Remove outline. What outline should I remove? This works in my system, though I've used it multiple times. Or let me see, just a second. And I have another option. Let's open, where are our notes? This directly calls using a tag. Let's try calling it using a tag, and then maybe we can figure out what the problem is. Let's call it using the tag name directly. Input focus For now, let's change the background color if this works. On the focus of my input, oh yes, on focus the background color is changing. So when I target using the tag, it's working. Even the border is also working. For some reason it's not visible. And random facts is saying do outline none. We can try it, just like decoration none. If we do it, and then you can see half of you can see a gradient sort of a border. Okay, let's fix this after a while because we have to move on flex first. It should be dot input one. No, I provided an ID. No, did I provide a class? We changed it to class. Okay, let's see. Oh, now everything is yellow. Let's change the border color to blue. And if we go here on focus, the border color should be, no, it's not working. For some reason the border is not working. We will try this. I think you guys can figure it out on your own. It's not such a big deal. Even I'll fix it in 5 minutes, but I have to tell you flex first, which is more important. Okay, this is also very important part. Nth child, first child, and last child. Now if you work on a broader say programming, you use same class, just like I explained using the example of Amazon. You create multiple cards that have the same class set of classes and that has the same features and attributes. Now tell me one thing, if I want to change the specific color of a specific card, how am I going to change it? Or if I'm going to if I want that card to have all those properties just like other cards but some properties different, I can use two options. First is inline CSS, which is like it gives its highest priority, so I can change it. But there is another option called child, and this is mostly used when you work on JavaScript, because in JavaScript you have to call it using class name. You have to call elements using class names with different indexing. So for example, if I want that, I have given, okay, let's perform this live. For example, I will create 3 divs and I will give them class, the same class, which is my class, and I will give some text to it. I'll copy this one only. And I paste it, and I'll not use these divs. Okay, and then it's damn, bina mouse ke it's so difficult. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now I'm giving same class to all the divs, and we will copy some features of maybe this class, the first class that we're using, this class. Okay, and these are the features that we're going to use. Background color is fine, margin fine, padding fine, height we will do 50 VH for now because we do not have a parent for this. Overflow scroll we don't need for now. Overflow scroll we don't need for now. I am so used to JavaScript now. Okay, this is fine. Now this is our these are our 3 divs. No, it's not dot child one, it was my div. So these are my divs. I think our file, is this not getting auto refreshed? Something is not right. The class name was my div, my class. Okay, my bad. It's my class. Okay, yeah, these are our divs now. Now I have given same class to 3 cards, but I want only the first div to have different property, like everything same, border same, font size same, padding same, margin same, but I want the first div to have a different background color. So this is how we will target it, by using nth child. What it does is, I'll tell you. Basically, if I wrap these three divs, if I wrap these three divs in a parent div, okay, give it a class parent, and I am going to wrap these three divs. I want you guys to tell me, parent div is the parent of how many divs? Quickly. Parent div is a parent of how many divs? Okay, guys are giving so many solutions for the focus thing. We'll solve it by the end of the session for sure. Yes, it is a parent to three children. Now I want only the first children of this div to have, uh, say, background color yellow. So I will say, in fact, the parent was not necessary in this part, because my class itself will decide its first, second, third element. So I will say dot parent first. I'll target using the parent element first. So dot parent, and then we want to target the first child. So you are going to use the nth child function with nth child property. So you will say nth child. We want the 0th child to have background color green. So what it does is, it will, what it should ideally do, it will target the 0th, or maybe we can try first element to have the nodes not working. Let's see if it works using dot my class property. This is how it works. So there is a slight difference that we see. Dot parent had three children. Now either I can target using dot parent class, and I want the first children of dot parent to have some different properties, but this property, nth child property, works on the basis of the class names. So if you're saying what was the our class name, it was my class. So we are saying, to our class name, the first element which has that class name, you have to give the background color green. So this is most widely used when you work on JavaScript and when you work on, say, dynamic styling, but you have to segregate some features in specific cards or divs. Okay. Second thing that we're going to do is now pseudo elements. So now this will directly target the first child. You don't have to write the numbers. This will target the last child, and this not selector, what it does, it excludes elements from selection. For example, if I write this, so in p tag I want not dot highlight color gray. So what it does is, it excludes the elements from selecting this class, and I will deselect the color. Where did it go? Guys, if you give me a minute, I'll reconnect my mouse, okay? Just stay here. It's creating so much mess up here. Just a second, okay? I hope it works this time. Now it's working. I hope it keeps working like so. Okay, where were we now? So these are pseudo classes. Now we want pseudo elements. Also, when we create the landing page, we are ultimately going to use most of these things. For example, the page that we're going to create is this. So if you see here on hover, the cursor is also changing. This is one of the pseudo classes also. So we are going to use it ultimately. Then we have pseudo element. Now this styles a specific part of the element. For example, in the p tag, I want to style some specific part of that element. For example, I am saying that only the if you read this code, this by default you don't have to give different classes. You can directly target the elements. For example, you're saying in the p tag, the first letter should be like in green color. So when you use this P first letter, it by default changes the color of the first letter to green. So that is these are, let's say, some shorthand properties which help you create and change the styling of some elements without, you know, giving them different classes every time. That would be very messy, right? Then summary of pseudo-class and elements. Basically, this is a very important question from interview perspective and very theoretical. It is not that practical. People will not ask you to do it. So apply styles based on user interaction or element state, and this styles specific parts of an element. So this directly styles specific parts. This is a shorthand property. You don't have to give separate classes, but in this you do have to give separate classes or selectors, or you can even use tag name selectors, which will universally uh, select all the tags. Okay. Now gradients is very important, but it is for styling, matlab entire styling thing. How we use gradients is very important. There is this, if you see in border, wherever I used border, there I used three properties: 2 pixel, solid, green. They are three different properties, so you can always use them separately also, which is border width, border color, but I use it simultaneously. If you remember yesterday when I explained margin and padding, I explained you can like margin top, padding bottom. Instead of giving them separate classes, you can directly put it in margin and 4 values. If you put 2 values, it takes as top, bottom, left and right. So if you put padding 2 pixel 2 pixel, it will take 2 pixel from top and bottom, 2 pixel from right and left. So similarly, linear gradient is nothing but colors that are transitioning in the same element from left to right. You explain the gradient to transition colors. So to right, that means it goes from left to right and the color changes from blue to purple. This is very simple. I think we'll copy the code for quick example. So we have this class dot gradient box, which has a width, a default width, given width, a height, and the background has a linear gradient to right, which means that it goes from left to right. The color changes from blue to purple. Let's function it. The class is dot gradient box. So I will create a div. I will create it outside the parent. Div dot gradient box, and I think we don't have to write anything. It has already customized a width. Okay, and I'll comment this part for now. Okay, now it's more clear, and we will comment out this part also. Okay, now you see there is this gradient thing going on in our div. The color changes from blue to purple. It goes from left to right. So this is a simple gradient. You can style it in so many ways. You can even create a rotational gradient. I'll just show you. I think it's been added in the notes itself. So this I have already explained. Now in the radial gradient, which I just mentioned, it is a circular gradient. In the center, you can also create it. So there, here we are saying the radial gradient, which means in a circular formation, it should be in a circle format. It should go from left to right by default, red to yellow. So if I use this class, which is radial box, I will change this to radial box. And if we copy this code here, this tells our system that there should be a circular gradient. The color should be from red to yellow. These you can always practice on your own at home. And if you have seen in so many websites, this is there in the background. The landing page, the home page background, they use so many gradients. And in fact, you can make these gradients move. That is a sort of animation and transform that we are going to you do just now. Okay. Any doubts so far? Guys, any doubts so far? Conic gradient is also same. You can refer to these notes and try it on your own. Let's do shadows quickly. It's 7-11. We have to create the page also. Shadows is nothing but giving the shadows to a box. So this gives shadows, and these properties you just have to remember. This might be asked in interviews also. I'm going to add some interview questions in the notes itself. This can be asked that if I put four properties in the boxed shadow. What does the first property say? So the first property is for offset y, which means in the y axis, what width of the shadow do you want? So it's for y axis. This is for x. This is for x. This is for y axis. This is for blur radius. How much blurriness do you want in your shadows? For example, the more the pixels you increase, the more blurriness goes out, like the width of the blurriness increases. And then the color. Okay, so I'll just copy it and show it to you. Wait, this is the class, and we will give dot box class here. See this, you see this blurriness? This makes the page look very appealing and makes it look very sort of 3D, like three-dimensional. It looks like it's coming out of the screen, so it's very interesting. You can always use such styling in the front pages or the cards that you create on the screen for multiple products. Okay, I once created an H&M sort of a website, like only the static website, so I used this in the cards. It looked very nice. What is x offset and y offset? So you know, this is x axis, this is y axis. How much width of the shadow do you want in the x axis and in the y axis? That is offset. Linear gradient, Soham, is nothing but color changing linearly. You are saying from left to right, the color should be red to yellow. It will change. I'll just uncomment this. Oh, maybe okay, I'll just create a new div, and this is the class that we used for gradient dot gradient box. I'll show this. You see the color, it's going from blue to purple linearly. That's it, nothing much. You just remember what these properties in order mean. Like if you're using linear gradient, what does this mean? To right means from left to right. It by default it starts from the left, and the color should be from blue to purple. Very simple. You can experiment these properties. I'm not focusing a lot on them because there are like a lot of properties in CSS. You can always learn these properties. I want you to learn structuring first, so I want to move into structuring real quick. This is hover, already done. Okay, no, this is transitions on hover. Yes, this is transition on hover. So what is the difference between transition and transform? First of all, transition is when, just as the name suggests, transition means from one state to another. When an element goes from one state to another, what do you want to have? What do you want to happen? Right, like if my button moves to a different state, which is when I hover on it, I want it to have some different properties. That is called transition. Whereas transform is moving. For example, cards moving like these. You can create such experiment. You can do such experiments on your own. Cards moving this, cards moving up and down, or maybe when I hover on two cards, like I want you guys to create this at home. My keyboard is also not working today nicely. People asking keyframe and flex. So keyframe and flex we are doing right now. Just a second, okay? Okay, I want you guys to create something like this. There will be a card like this on the screen, okay? And it will have a text. Hover over here, and when the person hovers over it, another card will move up, and this is called transition. We will do this first. I'll explain you what transition is, and then you can try this one at home. Another card will open which will have a message, very simple message. Okay, so basic transition on hover. Let's do a basic transition. There is this button which will have a background color blue, color the text color white, padding this. Transition is the main property that we are going to talk about right now. The background of that button will, in 0.5 seconds, ease in out. Ease in out is one of the different types of transition that you can do. There are so many types of transition, just like animations there are so many type of transitions, like ease in out, fade in, fade out. There are so many, like ultimately so many. Now you have given your button a property called transition, but I just now explained transition means when it moves from one state to another. Have you defined the state? No. So you will have to define a state to that button, that okay, on hover the background should be red, and then it will have the transition. Let's see how this code works. I'm not typing everything because we have to move to the Flexbox first, this background, and then I will create it. So it's targeting all the buttons. Do we have a button? We will use this button, and we will go here. Do you see on hover the color is changing to yellow, but you cannot see the transition live because it's very much slower. Very, just let me do this. Okay, let's do this 5.5 seconds and go this, and let's quickly go to the trans 1.5 seconds, then go to this, hello, am I audible, guys? Am I audible? Video is not playing. Is my screen visible? Is my screen visible to you? Something is not right with my system today. No, not visible. Screen it not. I have shared the screen. Let me ask the team to share it again. Just a second. Just a second, okay? I think it's visible now. I think it is visible now. Visible, right? Okay, great. So yeah, where were we? I'm sorry. Something is not right with my mouse and my keyboard and my screen today. Yes, okay, fine. Where were we? So we are saying to our HTML, we said there is this button, click here, and on the click there should be transition. And if I see style.css, this is not dot button class, this is button one class. I'm sorry, this is button one class. And if you go, there is this transition from this color to this color in 5.5 seconds, I guess. Yes, if I decrease the time, I say in 2.5 seconds there should be transition, the transition will be really quick. So this transition is not only on this button, this is not possible not only on this button, but this can be possible in different cards also. So when you say, when somebody hovers over the card, you want the discount to be focused, like discount 50%, that looks very appealing. So it's kind of psychological also. The person who is in there, in your website, he should feel positive about the things that you've shown in the website. So transition is mostly, you will see it in websites which are trying to kind of pop things up in your mind. Okay, keyframes. Yes, he says we are doing keyframes, I'm sorry. Let's go to move. I am not focusing much on this part now. So transitioning you can try on your own. There are so many there are so many different aspects in transition, like width, height, background, and what colors do you want to transition from. Like, you can explore everything. There are so many. Just like in background image there were so many yesterday, in transition also there are so many. You can practice this on your own. Now transform, what is transform? Now this transform class does nothing, but it transforms your specific elements from one state to another. In transition we were performing different functions, or different, we were giving it different features on different states. Now we are moving one element from one state to another. Okay, so you can use this also. You want me to try this, so you can okay, people are saying start the website. Should I start the website directly? This you can do, it will combine all. Okay, we can do this quickly. It will combine all the things that we have done, including background, gradient, including box, shadows, transition, which will transform from one state to other. What is the class name? It's dot card. So just do this and I will move to the website. Okay, dot card, and you can see in our page, this is using gradient. On hover, it is doing transitioning, is out, and box shadow is also there. You can practice it, and it is all there in the notes. Okay, so this is the summary. Media queries, these are very important, even more than the keyframes that you're talking about. Now yesterday, if you remember, I mentioned something that a website should be, should I explain this while creating the website only? Let's start creating the website. I will do responsiveness there only. Okay, so we are going to create this is our inspiration. I want you guys to understand the structure first. Okay, we are starting, so please sit back and relax and start working with me. I want you to understand this structure. Can we do one thing? I will open this in half of the screen, like so. See, this is not responsive. When I decrease the size, the home is above the logo. So we want to make sure this is nice. This is final and fitted and responsive. And on the other side, I would open Excalibur and I will show you how we are going to plan the structuring. Okay, this and the website. Okay, screen visible, right? Now this, okay, let me explain. First of all, we have one main div. Inside that main div, we have a navigation bar. We have a navigation bar, like so. Inside that navigation bar, if you see, we have one, and how I approach this problem, this is how I'm explaining. So I would have created two different divs inside this navigation bar. Div 1, which I will place here, and div 2, which I would have placed here. And then there is another div in the middle of the parent div here. In that div, we have two more divs. In that div, we have two more divs. like so. Oh, I'm sorry, this is not required. This, right, which has this arrow, and in the bottom of the landing page we have another small div whose parent probably is this. So this is how I would have approached this problem and created this landing page. Now, this is a pro tip for you all. Whenever creating websites, first clarify the structure in your mind, because what happens is, if you don't clarify the structure, the elements, if you start messing up with the elements and they don't get in line, you are never going to get them in line. You are stuck in that loop of parent children. If you adjust them according to one div, the other div will be out of its place. So it's better to have a clarity in mind and a structure in mind. Now if you create it like this, you are not going to face any single problem. Okay, is this available? Is the screen visible, clear to all? Clear? Please give me a thumbs up so that we can start creating this structure. Okay, clear. Okay, we can move forward, I guess. I will keep this here, back to our not needed although, and this is our inspiration. I'll keep this full screen and let's start creating our landing page. Okay, comment everything out. We need a blank canvas, and I'll try to comment here, landing page. What did I mention? First of all, a parent div. So div dot parent, and here, and from here I'll comment out these. Now, what classes are we giving to the parent? We will say dot parent should have height. What height? The most responsive that I would suggest is VH. So one page which is 100 VH, and then width 100% of the screen, right? And let's give it a background color for now. Let's give it a background color, maybe yellow, so that you can see. So this is our div. You see there are some space. This is the default space that our page takes. So for that we always do this thing. This is for universal selection. This is a universal selector. So we say box sizing, border box. This is a common thing that we always do, and margin 0. So it doesn't take any default margin, which it does. Now it will not take. So our page is now full. Clear so far? So far clear? Somebody did not understand the last portion. What portion? Please elaborate. I'll explain. So this is our canvas. Now, what was the structure again? The structure was to create a navigation bar which will have height maybe 20 VH. So I will create another div. I have not mentioned navbar, so what are we going to create now? Now this parent div has basically two children. What two children? This, if you see now, how should I remove this? Just a second. Oh, this. Oh, we don't want this. If you see, this parent has two children, navigation bar and the below page, the page below it, this one, right? So two children. So let's create two children inside this parent first. Div, okay, div dot child 1, and the other children would be div dot child 2. This is where nesting comes in, and now we have two children inside it. Now if you see, to child 1 I will give 20 VH height, and to child 2 I will give 80 VH, because according to the calculation the parent was 100 VH, right? So let's do that. In style.css I'll say dot child 1, I will give height 20. You can also give 20%, okay, but I will say 20 vh is fine. You can also give 20% because now it has a parent, so for of the parent 20% height is also fine. So height 20 vh, width I will give 100%, and let's give it another background color, maybe purple. Okay, we will remove the background colors, we will always work with borders, and we will remove the borders at last. To child 2, which is uh, in navigation bar, you could have also given class nav, which is very common, but I'm giving child 1 and 2 for your clarity of structure. To child 2, we are giving, I'll copy this to save some time, we are giving height 80 vh, width 100%, and color इसको हम 80 vh की जगह 80% दे देते हैं, so that we can use both the classes all together. See, this is our page. Now 20 vh looks a little like oh, it's looking a little larger because I've zoomed in a lot. No, it's actually looking this larger only. So we will do it to maybe 10 vh. What's happening? Maybe we will do it to maybe 10%. Let's try 10% is fine, and this would be then 90%, right? So this would be 90%. So our basic structure is defined. Now inside the navigation bar, what do we want? Inside the navigation bar, we want two children, first children and the second children, right? And this is where Flexbox will come in. Okay, so let's create two children inside our child one. Itna clear hai so far? Yes, we will create responsive website. Is this clear so far? To child 1, now we are going to give two children. So div dot, let's name it subchild. So subchild 1, and another div, let's name it, I'm using these names for your clarity, dot subchild 2. To some people it's not clear. What is not clear? Please ask doubts. Please feel free to ask doubts. I want you to create, see the structure first. Images, background images, styling you can do on your own. CSS is not that difficult. It is just like a game, but structure is something logical. So please, if you have any doubts, let me know. Clear? Soham, you can ask your doubts. So there are two childs. Now to child 1, which is this, which is the parent of the other children subchild that we created. How much height and width would you prefer? I think I would prefer to subchild 1. Let's give it a border first, okay? Dot subchild 1. We will give a border 2 pixels solid white, and same for subchild 2. Okay. Yes, like so. If it will not show any border because it doesn't have any height and width. So I'll give height to subchild 1, which is the logo. So to logo, I would give 100% height. Height is 100%. Width, I would give maybe only 20% of the parent. Okay, and to this, I will give height again 100%, but width I would give. It has 4 buttons, right? It has 5 buttons, so it's taking almost 40% of the width according to me. So now this person makes sure that whatever the screen size is, it will adjust according to the screen size. So this is child 1, and child 2 is above this. Now this is where we are going to use flex. Okay, now listen carefully what flex is. Flex property is one of the most widely used properties in CSS. And if I explain in layman's terms, flex is nothing but a power to the parent so that it can position its elements according to its own properties. For example, for let me give you a very basic definition. If to a parent I give a property flex, I'm giving it the power to align its items as it wants, like as I want. For now, what we are doing is we are only the children are aligned by default, right? But what if I want to tell the parent that all your children should be aligned in row wise order, or all your children should be aligned column wise, or all your children should have a margin and padding this. Okay, so display flex is a property which gives the power to the parent so that it can align its elements as we want. Got it? Basically, the position of a child is now decided by its parent if we use the property flex. Okay, how we do it. So, who is the parent of these two children who are above each other? Okay, for your clarity, I'll write something inside this. This is I am subchild 1, I am subchild 2. So, you see, these are the two children. Is it inside? Yeah, it is. Let me just clarify that the subchild is inside the child 1 div, right? To child 1 also, now we will give one thing. We will give it a border, 2 pixel, name a bright color. I think red. Yes, this is the parent. These are its element, and this element is outside of the parent just because the first element is taking so much space. Now we will give power to this parent, this purple element, which is the parent. We will give it some power to align its items. Okay. See. Oh, I just closed it. No style.css. Okay, this is subchild 2. Somebody mentioned, I'm sorry. Subchild 2, this is it. These are the children. Subchild 1 and subchild 2. Same properties. Yes, same properties. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to give some properties. I am going to tell this is child 2, right? This is child 1. So to the nav bar, I'm going to give a property which is display flex. As soon as I give the property display flex, it has by default aligned its children that okay, you stay in line, and by default it has aligned them column wise. Okay, now is this the only thing that it does? No. As soon as you give this property to a parent, you can position the children any which way. For example, now I have given display flex, so I'll say flex direction should be row, by default row. Now if I say the flex direction, yeah, which means the children should be aligned maybe column wise, so column. So now they are one is above the other. Now I'm telling them okay, it should be in column reverse. Now the position will be reversed. Subchild 2 is above the subchild 1. So what it does is it gives the parent a power to decide the position of its children. Is this it? No, it's not. There are so many other properties that flex does, and that is why we use flex so commonly. So flex direction, for now we will keep it default, which is row, and which is fine. So I'm moving this. Display flex, this. Okay. Now align items. Align items center, one of the most used properties. What it does is it will align the items of its children in the center, and we will say justify content. Maybe I want the content to be, if you see in our structure, these two children have, in what manner are they aligned? Okay, this is my question to you. Three options: space around, space between. Only two options I'm giving. Chalo, space around or space between these two children, in which manner are they aligned inside of the parent? Has their parent aligned them according to equal space between or equal space around? Flex is like creating gaps, but more than that, it is it is giving flexibility to your divs. I'm not changing individual properties of each element, each children, but I'm giving properties to the parent, and I'm telling it that this is how you're going to assign your children positioning. Space between, great answer. So we are saying justify content should be space between, not space around. So it will give equal space between its elements. And you see, our structure is almost there, right? This is subchild 1, this is subchild 2. Clear so far? Now if you see our structure, in our structure what we're doing is, this is the logo. This will have 5 buttons. So first let's talk about this. So this is, and if you want to see it from here, what class it is, inspect using F12 or right clicking. I go here, I go to this div. You see, you can see the class name of the div. It is subchild 1. So this is why dev tools come in handy. We have to work on subchild 1 for now. So let's go to subchild 1 now. And this is subchild 1. I am giving this some background color so it looks different. So this is our subchild. Now here we have to add an image or a logo. So I will add, this is my subchild 1. So inside this, instead of the content, we want to add an image, and let's download a logo quickly online. Maybe Let's Upgrade logo would work. I would suggest, before creating something of your own, create an inspiration online. For example, create a clone of Amazon, create a clone of H&M or any website. That would help you in the long run. You will focus on different properties to make it similar, right? So inside desktop, it is inside my HTML, and save. I've downloaded it in the right file, right? Yeah, HTML is the folder. And delete all this, delete this. Now here I'll say, I think this is the file. Yes, low is here. Now I'll give some height and width. Alternate, I'll say no image found. If something goes wrong, it will show me an alternate text. And to that logo, I'm giving some height. I'm giving it 100% height, and I'm giving it width, maybe 20%. So 20% is little smaller than expected. Maybe we will give it width 50%. Oh, it's so stretched. Maybe 30. You can also give fit content. Okay, that's fine. Now it's looking very clumsy, so I'll remove this background color. I don't need it anymore. And here is our logo. I'll remove the border also. You can always use borders for better clarity. So I've removed border, and I will remove this red border also so that it looks like something. Great. Do you see? We've already added logo, and to this I'm gonna give white color. So it looks monotonous. This is our navbar. Now to subchild 2, for now, let's give it a different colored border. In subchild 2, we have 5 buttons. What do we have? You've created Amazon clone. Great. In subchild 2, we will have 5 different buttons. So go to subchild 2. Okay. Into 5 and dot, हम इनको क्लास दे देंगे BT buttons क्लास दे देंगे सबको. सबको सेम क्लास देंगे बिकॉज दे आर सेम इन स्टाइल. This is button 1, this is button, okay. And if you see, there are 5 buttons here in our div. Let's give them some text. What are the texts? Home, services, about, projects, contact. Okay, so we have home, we have services, projects, home, services, projects, about, and contact. About and contact. Okay, if I go to my file now, oh, my mouse is again doing some problems. Why is it doing? It's fine now, I guess. Okay, I just figured out something. The problem is not with my mouse but my tab button. Okay, silly me. Okay, now we have 4 buttons, right? Let's decorate them. They're looking very simple. And one more thing, it's not button first of all, it's an anchor tag. I was considering it as button, it is an anchor tag. So can I replace it? I can. Function, you have to do control H. You want every you want every button to be replaced with a, right? Yes. Enter, 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 enter. Okay, done. Now I want every closing tag of button to be replaced with a closing tag of anchor. Now enter, 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 enter. Yes. Okay. Fine now. और तो नहीं है. Okay. So these are anchor tags. See, this is the problem with my tab button, not with my mouse. These are 4 anchor tags now. अच्छा, href तो कुछ दिया ही नहीं, क्या आएगा text. So for now in these anchor tags, href खुद से नहीं आया because I changed it using replace button. So in every anchor tag, please add href in your systems. And here also. And for now you can keep it empty. Okay, it's not going to create any problem because we are not redirecting to any page as of now, so you can keep it empty. This is for just for making it a little regularized, and so we know what we have done. And also my code is not formatted at all. Please format it time to time. This is the formatted code so that you can now see what children which parent has. So add href in every anchor tag like so. So this is done. Okay, so these are my anchor tags now, and to these I have given a class called, what was the class name? Common class buttons. No problem, but we'll use buttons for now. So to buttons, first of all, do text decoration none. It's doing something to me. I don't want the underline. So text decoration none. It will remove the underline of this. Now, if you see, I want to give power to this red bordered div, which is their parent. I want this div to, I want to command this div to align its items a little better. So I will give the power to my parent of these divs, which is subchild 2. Now to subchild 2 also, I will give property called display flex, justify content, space between, and align items to the center. What else? I think it's fine. It's already centralized. If you don't want space between, you can also use another property called space around. It will align the items considering that it has some space around it also. And if you remove this red border, I think we already have some good navigation bar, and to this navigation bar I think इस navigation की bar की height को थोड़ा सा कम अभी भी कर सकते हैं हम. So the nav bar was child 1. I think the height should be 5%. Yes, I think it's looking fine now. And let's adjust the logo. The height of the logo should be 100%. The width should be only 20% maybe. Yeah, it's looking fine now. Is this clear so far? Ma'am, can we see canvas for that, right? We can use canvas for that. Full screen is not clear in creating one at top. Guys, I'm not understanding your doubts. Please elaborate a little. Clear? Please give me a thumbs up if you understand navigation bar thing till now. And if I create another page, which is, for example, see, I'm going to show you something. You know this index.html? Let's try doing something. In this index.html, I want the home page to have the link of my index.html file, and if I click on home, it will take me to my pehla wala html. So this is how we link different pages, right? Oh, tab button. Now I know the problem. So okay, understood? Great, thank you. So this is how you navigate to different pages. Okay, clear, I think. Now we want the structure. Okay, this green structure should have different height now because we adjusted the height. So child 2 should now have, this has height 5%, this will have height 95%, and this is it. Now we want this to have a structure. So this green div is now the parent to its children. And how many children do we want as per our calculation? Which page was it? Excalidraw, which page? What have I done? No, this is it. This is it. So now we want, in this green div, we want another child at the center. We can use margin and padding, or we can also use, for the parent div, to align its items space around, right? But space around me, navigation bar will be a little bit lower, but for now I'm liking it on the top, very top. No margin from top, so I would prefer margin and padding over flex. Okay, so to this green div, let's give another child. So to this green div, this one, which is child 2. Okay, so to child 2, so I'm closing this div for now. This is clear. Okay, close this. To child 2, I want to give one children first. So to, what should I say? Subchild, let's say 2 1, which means first subchild of second child. Okay, this subchild 2 1. This is how I used to name classes for better understanding. I don't know, maybe you're getting confused. Let me know. Okay, a second. So to subchild 2, I want to give height. What height do you think will this child take of this entire parent? This would probably take only, say, 50% of the height. Okay, 50% of its parent div. It will take width. It will take width to be 100%, or fit content means the more it will fit the content. So how much text you put in it will fit the content only, no extra height and width. And we will give this background color maybe purple for now, and we go here. Am I giving it to the wrong? Oh, why am I giving it to the subchild 2 though? It's subchild 2 1, not subchild 2. Okay, it's subchild 2 1. background color purple. Are you guys facing any doubt? No. So this is the subchild 2, which is the child of this green div, 50% height, 100% width. Oh no, width not 100%. The width will also be 50%. It's in the center, right? So the width will also be 50. Now I will give the superpower to my parent, which is subchild 2. I've already given the superpower. No, this is the child 2. This. Display flex justify content at center. So it will justify its content at center and align items also at center. So it will take the div to the center and voila, done. Now this green is looking not, it's not looking nice, so I want to add a very good background image to this green parent. So let's see what background image can we find online. You see, maybe we'll find what type of education stock images. What do we find relatable? Guys, it will take 15 more minutes to create this. Okay, so please be patient. I think this is nice. So we will save this in our HTML folder and save. Okay. So now if I'll delete this, I'll delete this. And where is the code? Here is the code. To child 2, I want to give some background image. And there is this, somebody was asking कि नहीं चल रहा था background image. You can see how this works. To this background image, you have to add the URL. So I think this is my photo. And you see, here is the photo. Now, yesterday I explained a property which is background repeat, no repeat. So we will say background repeat, no repeat. I don't want the background to be repeated. And if it was being repeated, that means the image was a little smaller as per my background. So what will I do? I will have two options, okay, which is to adjust the background. Let's see. So it is very small. So we have another property for background, which is background position or background size. Also we will say background size cover. We want the background to be covered no matter how much part of the image is cut. I want to cover it. So if the image will expand itself to cover my background width, it will expand by default to cover the height also. So some part of the image might be cut off. So it is, but I think it's looking fine to me. Okay. And to this purple wala div, I will remove the background color. Now is this clear so far? So justify content space between means the parent will just align its items and children item in such a way that they will have equal space in between. So for example, if you see in this navigation bar, it had two children, first and this second child, right? So the first child and the second child were justified space between, so they have same space in between them, this child and this child. Okay. Now this is my background. It is not scrolling because it's just one page. If it is of two page, you can use different properties like background fixed, background scroll, anything. Okay. Now to the center div, you cannot see anything. So let's add a border. 2 pixels solid white. This is the border to the child. Now in this border, what were we going to create? We were going to write this. Let's copy. What is this? Is there any good code that we can write? We will say education for all. That's a better code. So to this, we are going to provide, no, not this file. In this, we are going to provide education for all. Okay. And let's give it some styling. Font size, I think हम larger रखेंगे, and font family would be Let's keep it this. This is the, no, it's not subchild 2 1. Let's see what class it is. This, right? This is subchild 2 1, right? This is subchild 2 1 only. फ़ोन साइज़ को थोड़ा और बढ़ाते हैं एक बार, इसको 25 पिक्सल करते हैं एंड कलर शुड बी वाइट. हाँ, ओके. सो द फ़ोन साइज़ शुड बी 60 pixels say. This is the font size and we want this content to be at the center, right? So we want this content to be at the center. So the parent of this is now this 60 pixel, this content. To this content, the parent is child 2. To child 2, we have given align item center, justify content center. Let me see. Okay. To this white bordered div, who is the parent? This white bordered div is the parent, right? Okay, got it. This itself is the parent if it comes to justifying its content. So you have to give the property to this only. Justify content, because there is no nested div inside it, so it has directly the content. So we'll justify center, align items also center, and here you will see it's in the center. Okay, now we want a logo. So for logos, there are so many websites. I'll attach them in the all-in-one documentation too, but for now we will take logo from the website called Iconify. There are so many. I'll attach every important resource in the documentation. Okay, Iconify, we want an arrow icon. Not this one. I have not used them for a long time. I think this one directly provides the SVG also. So I want an up arrow. So if you want an up arrow, search for it. Oh, sorry. We want an up arrow. Just a second. This, and these are the icons. I want to search this. Which one? I think that this one was there in the inspiration that we have. So maybe we will download this. So you can adjust the size, color, everything from here only. I think the color was black. It's here only. The color is white. Oh, it's down arrow. I'm sorry, but I'll use up now. Let's not waste time. So you can directly copy this SVG from here. Copied, and just let's open this file. You can directly paste this SVG inside our file. So we have to put this icon right below this and format document. So it has all the properties that you mentioned there. This is our website. This is our arrow. Now, okay, we want justify content to not be in center now, but now there is one more thing, one more interesting thing that you can see right here is in this if you see, this was the parent. I asked the parent to adjust its element at center and center, but now I'm facing some problem because I want this arrow to be below this. So why not let's wrap it inside another div so that now that div will align its child 1 and child 2 again in column wise order, right? That would be a better idea because Flex always gives you flexibility in future also. So this is my subchild 2 1. Inside that subchild 2 1, I have a content. So I will probably put that content inside a span, or even if maybe you can also put it inside a span. That would be a good take. like so, and the SVG is the other element, right? Now this these are the two children and two parent subchild to one. Now I want to wrap these two in div dot subparent, let's say div dot subparent. So to subparent, if you say I'll give a border, let's give it a border 6 pixels solid yellow. This is the subparent, right? So now I want this subparent to align its items nicely to display flex, uh, justify content. It's already at center though, center and align items, and हम करेंगे let's do the flex direction part first, that's more important. So we will do flex direction column. This, you see this flex direction column, justify content center. Now align items also center, and here you go, it's fixed. Now remove this border. Do you have any doubt in this? Do you have any doubt? Any doubt so far? Okay, please give me a thumbs up if you're going good. Now this is ultimately the page that we wanted. We will remove this border. Now one more thing that's left, which is very easy. You might get confused in the start, but it's very easy. That is called responsive designing. Now if this spacing you can increase, this is the final page. This is the final page that we have created. I'll attach the code also in the documentation. Just let me know. What, no, you're not clear? Or no doubts? I'm sorry. Okay, the only thing that's left is responsive designing, but that's not typical at all. If we open the notes, where are our notes? Just a minute, okay? Not here, not here. In our notes, the only thing that's important and left is media. This is very simple, and I explain again. In websites, you should have that responsiveness that in different screen sizes also, the div should adjust itself, right? The screen size, the website should adjust its element, right? So this helps you create flexible and responsive web designs. How we follow it, I'll explain. So I took a parent div, right? Let's see if our website is responsive that we created just now. How to check it? Inspect. In the inspect, there is this button option like toggle device emulation. In this, you can see in our, if I change the screen size, this is how my website is going to behave in different screen sizes, and I already see it's responsive. You know why it's responsive and I did not had to make it responsive? There are two reasons. First, I did not use margin and padding at all. That is the only thing that messes up the entire code and then messes up the entire website. I used smart planning, that I made a structure. I gave a main parent div height and width according to the screen size, so it's not letting its element come out. But below 780 pixels, it's getting a little messed up, right? It's getting a little messed up, if you see, right? So this is where responsiveness comes in. So what will I do? I will ask my system to uh, decide that as soon as here is the height and width of the phone screen, this is the dimensions. So I'm going to tell my phone screen that as soon as the screen size gets below 940 pixels, this content should have a smaller font size, right? This is how you do responsiveness. Let's see how we do it now. So this is the code. This is a p tag, normal p tag. I will take my class here, and to my class I will say as soon as. the maximum width reaches 740, the font size, so I will do something else. I will say, what is my class? uh, let's give it to the entire page. Okay, my class is at media. What do you have to do now? You have to give the class name. So first of all, what screen size do you want? So I want, when the max, just a second, cursor over is on. Okay, now it's fine. Okay, at media, when the max, I'll copy it for your ease because we are running out of time. We want, if the maximum screen size is below 740 pixel, so maximum width is 740, which means below 740 something will change. What will change? I want, which class should I take? I should take child 2, right? So child 1, let's do. I will first show you how it works. So for child 1, I will do the background color to yellow. Let's see if this works. So this is my code. This is how I inspect it. So when I decrease its screen size, as soon as it reaches 740, you see the color of the navigation bar is changed. This is how we do it, make it responsive. But I don't want to change the color here. What I actually want to do is, I want this font size to decrease when the screen size is less than 740 pixels. So I will target, what is this? What is the class of this? The class of this is elements. This this has class. Okay, this is the children of sub parent. Okay, so to sub parent, I'm going to give something to sub parent. We will say, or maybe I have given font size to subchild to 1. So let's decrease the font size there only. To subchild to 1, the background color should be yellow, and remove this for now. And the font size should now be 4 pixels. So now it will adjust according to the screen. Let's decrease the screen size. If you see here, and if I decrease the screen size, 740, and here I think it's not decreased, or I can't see it. Okay, sub not 21T, it's 21. See, as soon as it reaches 740, the text is decreased. It's actually a lot smaller. We will do it to 20 pixels. So now here it's large, it's decreased. This is how you make your website responsive. So that was it for this 3 days boot camp. This is what we have created so far, and these responsive designs are not difficult to make. And in fact, let me know if you guys want to learn bootstrap also. It is basically helpful. It gives you some inbuilt classes which makes your website responsive, because it is not humanly possible to maintain the entire web page of 4-5 pages to have responsiveness altogether. You cannot adjust elements like, separately, each element. Okay, is there anything else you want me to do? Any doubts? And let me know how was the session. Let me know in the comments of the video how the session was. And I loved teaching you guys. You were very attentive, I should say. This was one of my boot camps wherein I could see a lot of people actually working. So this is what we've created. I will attach the screenshot. I will attach some very important resources if you're a beginner. I will attach some websites wherein you can find templates and inspirations, wherein you can find icons, images, stock images. And as a beginner, I would want to give you a suggestion that create some clones first, so that, what we do is, when we create custom websites, what happens is, you will say, okay, this is not happening, I'll change the style whatsoever. So you will not work on that specific thing if you want to. But if you create a clone, you have to figure out how to do that specific, how to style that specific element. So when you are under pressure of creating exact same things, you explore a lot of features on the way, right? So for today also, if you see, we created it, there was hands-on learning, we created all of this. Okay, my phone is off, I cannot see your comments now. Just a second. I'll open the YouTube here. Okay, no problem. I cannot read your comments. I'm sorry, but I loved creating this website with you. I loved teaching you all, and we will see you soon probably. Let me know how was the session. Let me know in the comments, and yes, keep practicing. Bye bye. See you. See you. Let me know how did you like the session. Bye.